As the great but little known St. Anthony Mary Zachariah tells us, human beings were placed on earth chiefly and exclusively in order to reach God, and the rest of creation helps us to reach that goal. We're created for God and ordered towards Him, and other creatures and material things are perfectly fine as long as they help us in our orientation to the Lord. When we start to prefer things which are just a means to an end over our ultimate goal, that's when we run into problems. Now, because creation is there to aid us in our spiritual life, it points us towards God, the ultimate author of all that is, the source of being itself. Now this video is too short to go into Aquinas's 5 ways or things like that. But using our reason and contemplating, then we can get to a certain limited understanding of God. But God loves us so much and wants us to come to Him, to be united to Him forever. And so He's not content just to let those who have a good think be the only ones who could get to know about Him. No, God tells us about Himself. Firstly, as we see in the Old Testament, to certain individuals and a particular nation, and then in the person of Jesus Christ, the fullness of revelation is given to us so that everyone can have a chance to know and to love God. Now, I was trying to think of some helpful analogy about the difference between the 2 ways of coming to know God, through natural reason and through divine revelation. And here's an imperfect, certainly, but hopefully useful one. Now at night, I take my glasses off and I put them on my bedside table, and there are some books, there's a rosary, a glass of water, that sort of thing on the table. Now if I wake up in the middle of the night, when it's pitch dark, I can reach out my hand and sort of scrabble round, trying to find my glasses, but probably I'll sweep them onto the floor or knock the water over or something like that. I might not even be able to find them at all. Or I could wait a bit. I could think about where I put them, right there next to the water, or they're on top of the book, and I could use my reason to logically deduce where they are. And finally, the sun could come up in the morning and illuminate everything, and then I'd be able to find my glasses with very little difficulty at all. Now, you're all clever sorts watching this video, I'm sure, and you've probably guessed where I'm going with this. The first way, sweeping my arm around wildly, possibly getting my glasses, but probably causing a bit of a mess, is like those people before Christ came, who had a sense of the divine and tried to reach out to it, but often ended up worshipping sticks and stones instead of the one true God. The second, where you have a really good think about things, is more like those philosophers who could use reason to deduce that yes, there would be a creator that we call God, and that he'd have certain attributes. He'd be all-powerful, all-knowing, that sort of thing. But they can't get the full picture, and they're still really in the dark. But then, with the coming of Christ, the Sun of Justice dawns, and if we open our eyes, then we can see the way that the Lord has set out for us. Well, thanks be to God for God sending His only Son to come and save us. So God bless now, and say a prayer for us here in the monastery.